weeks ago, the Des Moines Register, our favorite conservative newspaper in the state, identified me as one of the first prominent, I've never been called prominent before, Republicans to endorse for President of the United States. And I won't take that back. I enjoy that. I think that prominence is what Northwest Iowa is all about. And we need leaders. We need leaders in this country. There's no question about that. First of all, though, I would like to recognize a couple of people here. Jeff Smith is our state representative here from Okoboji, and he's here. And because of redistricting that's going to go on in the year 2013, we've got a Republican candidate for the Iowa House, a new district, that's Megan Hess. And Megan, it's great to see you. She's out there working hard and everything. Now, some of you know me and know the fact that last week I had back surgery. And I'm wearing a back brace and I'm out on a cane and everything. So I'm a walking metaphor. I'm a walking metaphor for the American economy. I really believe that. The American economy is broken. And we need someone to lead us to a full recovery. Now, of all the 50 states, where has the most job growth been? Texas. Where in the United States of America has there been an increase, a dramatic increase ahead of the national average of gross state product? It's Texas. What state has so many of the energy resources that we need to move this nation ahead and cut our dependence on foreign sources of energy? Well, it's Texas. And it's my privilege today to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad that you're all out here. Please welcome the Governor and the First Lady of Texas and our next President of the United States, Mr. Rick Perry.
Senator, I never thought about it that way before. I'm not an MD, but I think I do have a PhD in job creation. So that's what America's looking for. And again, it's an honor to be here. Jeff, thank you for coming out today and being a part of the crowd. He was sharing with me a little bit about the history of Clay County and the world's greatest Clay County Fair. So just over with, and congratulations on that. And Senator, I do appreciate your introduction, but I also want to take a moment and just recognize a fabulous First Lady of Texas and my best friend and a great mom and a spokesperson for health care like this country will never see, and that's Anita. Bob Haas is in the crowd somewhere, and I just want to point him out again. He and Ruth have done a fabulous job for us here in Iowa. So, Bob, wherever you are, brother, I know you stand in the back doing some work. Thank you for what you've done. And these Iowa caucuses are just a little less than 3 months away, and I'm remindful that the pundits they don't choose presidents. People of Iowa choose presidents. Iowa voters are not looking for the most polished candidate out there. They're not looking for the smoothest talker, if you will. They're looking for a person who has some principles. They're looking for that principled candidate. They're looking for an individual who will look them in the eye and tell them when there's an issue that has to be addressed in this country and lay out a clear vision for the future of America and some solutions for those issues that face this country. Americans, and I think Iowans in particular, want authentic, conservative philosophy. And the voters here are plenty smart. You look to see if the rhetoric matches the record. And I have a conservative record. I balanced 6 state budgets as the governor of the state of Texas. Cut school property taxes by 1/3. Cut small taxes, or I should say cut taxes on small businesses while I've been the governor of Texas. I've cut the spending for the first time, overall spending cut since World War II in our state. I've implemented the most effective border security policies along that border. We put more boots on the ground between Texas and Mexico. We deployed our Texas Ranger recon teams, other law enforcement assets to stop the drug smuggling, the smuggling of weapons, the smuggling of people. I vetoed legislation that would give driver's license to illegal aliens. I've signed legislation requiring a photo ID to vote because legal votes should not be canceled out by illegal ones. I happen to think my conservative values are pretty much in tune with Midwestern values, where you measure a leader by their walk, not just by their talk. Like a lot of Iowans, I believe the way to create unlimited opportunity is to expand freedom for families and employers. Government's not the answer to our present crisis. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it's at the root of the problem that we have in our country today. Stimulus that was passed under the current administration, where there was a promise along with it of the creation of 3.5 million jobs. Well, 2.5 million jobs lost later, we find ourselves at a crossroads. 1 in 6 Americans who are work eligible can't find a job. And I'm not just talking about numbers here. I'm talking about people. I'm talking about, in some cases, your family friends. I'm talking about family members. I'm talking about your neighbors. 1 in 8 Iowans are on food stamps. Roughly 48% of American households have at least one person receiving government benefits. You know, the answer to this crisis that we're in today is not the expansion of government in our lives, but the answer is in the rebirth of freedom in this country. And I'm talking about bringing back prosperity to America and using our greatest advantage, and that is freedom. If you think about that, is the most powerful thing that we have is freedom. Freedom from government intervention in our lives. Freedom from too much government. Freedom from too much over-taxation and over-regulation. Freedom is a powerful word. And it's a word that we need to inject back into the American lexicon where it really means something. Imagine, if you would, this moment, America that can set our people free. Employers that are freed up from that over-regulation. Be able to invest again. Know that with confidence that they can live in an environment where they can risk their capital and have an opportunity to have a return on that investment. Americans will be able to get back to work. People will quit worrying about whether we're going to make our mortgage payment, whether we're going to be able to put food on the table or gas in our automobile. People will be able to get ahead again. They'll be able to plan for the future. And the key to prosperity is liberty. Yet the larger this government that we have gets, the smaller our circle of liberty becomes. And it's time for the American people to be set free again, free from the burden of big government. And we know freedom works. It's been working for us in Texas now for a decade. My home state, as the senator shared with you, it's been the home of 40%. It's been the place where 40% of all the jobs that have been created in the United States since June of 2009. And as governor, I've led that state with 4 pretty simple principles, actually. But they've been powerful. Principle number 1 is don't spend all the money. And 2 is have a tax policy that is as light on the job creators as it can be. A regulatory climate that is fair yet predictable. And a legal system that allows for the creation of jobs. You know, and Washington, sadly, has really forgotten that fact, that freedom does work. And we need to get focused back in this country on freeing up families and employers by cutting their taxes, by releasing them from the overbearing burden of these regulatory impact, stopping this generational theft that's going on with the creation of a monstrous debt of closing in on $15 trillion. I want to wrap up before I open it up for questions. I want to share with you two things, two promises, if you will. My first day in office, because I understand how negatively this country is going to be impacted when we put a bureaucrat in Washington, D.C. between the patient and the doctors in your community. I'm going to whip out a Sharpie about like this one, and I'm going to sign an executive order to wipe out as much of Obamacare as I can. My first day in the Oval Office. And I'll share with you the other promise. Every day it will be in my intention not only to create that environment in this country where small businessmen and women know that they can risk their capital and have a chance to create the jobs which in turn create the wealth in this country. But I will go to work every day and try to make Washington, D.C. as inconsequential in your life as I can. God bless you. Thank you all for coming out here. Senator, I can open it up for some questions. That'd be good.
Absolutely.
Thank you. The senator has allowed me to do that. Thank you, sir.
I yield the balance of my time.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for your service. Now, run it by again. I'm sorry.
I know you're aware of the executive order that establishes Council of Governors that divides the country into 10 different sectors, and our own government grants that has been appointed one at a time. And I'm hoping your answer is yes, that you have also been appointed one at a time.
I can't answer that in the affirmative